Your heart starts racing.
Stand by, everybody.
The drama.
Everything is fluid right now.
Everyone is on edge. Primary election day is here.
It's how the voter feels.
Crews spread out across the stage.
Everybody's working, all hands on deck.
It's pretty intense.
Take number two. Take number two.
Surprises start rolling in.
A lot of nerves in here tonight.
And it's crunch time.
Great night.
And whoa, wait.
David Ige wins the primary election.
We gave people choices.
Who's ahead? Who's behind? How many people have voted?
Those are the races, of course, that so many eyes are on.
So this is how I run this analysis every time.
This place just went crazy. They've been working tirelessly.
You never know who's going to win.
It was a real scramble, and that's where the juices for me get flowing.
It's such an incredible result.
They knew they had it in the bag.
Being the underdog is one of the things that really fuels the people who support me.
We need balance.
When it comes to these big historical events, we come together as a team and we really deliver.
It is the calm before the storm. No one is here. My name is Brenda Salgado. I'm the assignment manager here at Hawaii News Now. Polls open at 7, and we're checking to see if there's any problems with voting, with the polls themselves.
Yeah, I expected it to be just a little bit busier, but there was no crowd, smooth.
Probably after lunch, everyone will start dragging themselves in. And by 2, this place should start pumping.
Look how empty it is.
Yeah. See, these are the voting booths. Yeah. And then there's some
Brian
more.
had nobody in his shot for a while.
What I think happened is they were discouraged by the delays from the previous year, so they all went and voted.
And
so
voted early. Yeah, there's a lot more.
I think that's what's going on.
So it's a great feel, a barometer as we sine wave to see how people are, reacting.
They were sign waving all throughout. We went to Kaneohe, we went in town near Nimitz.
Well, I feel terrific. The campaign has really come together. We could see the momentum shifting, 4 to 6 weeks ago, and it's just continued to build day after day after day.
It's just burning off nervous energy.
I think there's 16 winner-take-alls.
I've been covering politics either as a manager or as a reporter for 38 years. So this is how I run this analysis every time, okay? So, when you're in a newsroom, when there's an election, it's one of the highlights of the year. It brings everybody out, everybody's working, all hands on deck, we call it. And everybody has an edge on these election nights because you've been doing homework. You're excited about this because we are all, dedicated to the democratic process. That's why we're in this business.
If the numbers are ready, and this is our first time we're going to say them, then we'll just get to the numbers.
Okay.
So it's exciting. I really like it. It's one of my favorite nights of the year, or every couple of years, because despite all the rivalries and the factions politically, it actually brings people together. It's one of those statewide events that everybody watches and participates in. Even if they don't vote, they're watching, they're part of it, and to me that's exciting, this unifying effect of everybody doing one thing at the same time.
Bring it back. No, down. In fact, election nights are probably the loudest, most craziest nights. My name is Michael Harris, head director, election supervisor tonight.
It's going to be a real ad-lib after we get into probably, especially past 7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on when the election results start coming out at the Capitol. That'll really be the tail that wags the dog in a lot of ways.
I think the biggest challenge is there's a lot of live remotes coming in. Sometimes you can have as much as 8 or 9 or 10 live shots coming into control room, which is a lot more than we usually do.
If the numbers are not there at 7 o'clock,
There are always surprises. What I really enjoy about elections is the drama, the theater. There are highs and lows. There's going to be tears. There's going to be tears of joy. There's going to be tears of agony.
This party doesn't start until 6, so I don't think there'll be many people necessarily in the live shot, so I wanted to have those photos tossed too.
We may need extra Wi-Fi.
We're here at Hukilau, Honolulu in downtown. This is the night that everyone has been waiting for. Volunteers, campaign staff, they've been working tirelessly
to see what happens on this night. Volunteers are in there right now finishing up last-minute touches, taking care of decorations, making sure that all the technology, electronics are all set up properly. And here at the restaurant, volunteers were working the phone banks, calling up supporters, making sure that they got out to the polls.
We're on Kauai, not only covering the mayor's race, but also voting access for those North Shore residents who are affected by the historic April floods. Now, road work continues on Kuhio Highway, so those residents still need to use the escorted convoy system to get in and out of the area. The closest polling place to them is outside of the security checkpoint at Hanalei Elementary School. So if they want to vote today, they're going to have to use the convoy.
I was at the convoy 45 minutes early, waiting, so I'd be first in line so I could get here real quick, vote, and turn around and possibly get back out on the next convoy.
We have to stay connected, especially when the results come in, because everybody is counting down to, okay, when is it coming in? We're going to keep our eye on Mileka Lincoln, who is live at the state capitol. We're going to see those ballots coming. She's going to be handed the ballot. She's going to say, gang, I have the numbers here. We're going to go ahead and put that out there to the viewers. So people are going to be scrambling in this newsroom.
Stand by, everybody.
It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. People are really looking forward to, the outcome of this, of several races tonight.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go. DA router to 5, 4,
KC
3,
live picture, stand by.
1. Roll it up.
This is your source for breaking news. Hawaii News Now at 5.
2018 primary election day is here. A live look at the polls at McKinley High School. They opened early this morning across the state and are set to close in 1 hour at 6 o'clock this evening. All voters in line by 6 are ensured the opportunity to cast their ballot. It's the first time in Hawaii state history voters are being allowed to register to vote on election day.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll see if that improves Hawaii's notoriously low voter turnout. And when the numbers do start to roll in, our Mileka Lincoln will bring us the count from where the ballots are being tallied. That's at the state capitol.
The excitement here is really just sort of your heart starts racing when you know a printout is coming, and so the numbers are going to be handed off to you, and then you're literally going to be reading them off on air, and so that's always really interesting. Are you posting now?
Let me just look over. Mileka, mic check, mic check.
An element of that is very much that you're experiencing it in real time with the viewers at home. It's not like we have the information ahead of time and we've been able to sort of prepare, and that's what's very different about handling election returns here at the state capitol compared to other assignments. So that's always, it's a night that you have to be on your toes.
Are you guys coming to us?
Are we going to Mileka? She wants to know.
And what?
I got 6 of them right now.
You know, the excitement has been building for the past few months, and tonight it finally comes to a culmination. We're waiting for that first printout, and everyone is, of course, running around and getting ready in anticipation for that first batch of numbers to come through.
New numbers to tell you about just in. Governor Ige is in the lead against Colleen Hanabusa after the first printout.
I don't want to say the ballroom was stunned, but I think they've been very quiet since the first printout numbers came out. Now the numbers are all of the mail-in, the absentee, the walk-in voting that had occurred in about 125,000 votes. And Ige with a lead of 5 or 6 points. They are still very positive, still very hopeful at this point.
Well, Colleen Hanabusa was in the legislature for many, many years. She was the Senate president. She is known as a litigator. She is an attorney by trade. She is tough. She is from Waianae.
What would you say in reaction to the numbers that just came up on the board there?
It's still early. These are the numbers before we got the wonderful endorsement from the Star Advertiser, Maui Times, Maui News, and so there's a lot left to be had here today.
In looking at the polling, David Ige was far behind Colleen Hanabusa in March, 20 points in fact. And in talking to some of his supporters, they say that's what inspired them to come out and support and do the sign waving and to help him out, because they couldn't believe that he wouldn't be able to win a second term. And it might have turned the tide, because by July, the governor was up 4%. Huge cheer went up when we heard those first numbers come in. I wanted to bring his communications director, Glenna Wong, to talk a little bit more about how she is feeling tonight. Glenna, how did it feel to hear those first numbers?
I feel great, and so does everybody else. Thank you so much. We want to extend a huge mahalo to everybody that voted early. I mean, this is fantastic. It's the news that we've been waiting for.
David Igay's administration took 38 minutes to officially tell us it was a false alarm.
You know, everyone saw that false missile alert ad that criticized him for forgetting his password. He did admit that he forgot his password, but of course it wasn't the full picture. But in those negative ads, they will hone in on something.
Ambivalence, right? It's like the two top candidates really aren't that different from each other. You know, and we've been working with their campaigns, and a lot of the people on either campaign had worked for one or the other campaign in the past. They get along really well. It's really lovely, but it's not the kind of conflict that generates excitement. There aren't any big issues at stake that one or the other is different from the other one. So, you know, what's to generate excitement? You know, the lieutenant governor's race? I mean, come on.
The polls are in Senator Josh Green's favor.
LG side, Josh
Green. His closest competitors are Kauai Mayor Bernard Carvalho and Jill Takuda, State Senator Jill Takuda.
Take number two.
Welcome back on primary night here in Hawaii. We are talking about the race for lieutenant governor right now, and Josh Green is in the lead.
I already did one interview with Senator Takuda's campaign spokeswoman. I'm still waiting for her. It is almost 6:30. The first printout came out. She is trailing behind for the lieutenant governor's race. She is behind Senator Josh Green, but only about 4 percentage points. So the supporters here are cautiously optimistic. Some people are even cheering when the first printout came out.
This after the first printout, of course, you know, every single subsequent printout is either going to confirm a lead, it's going to change a lead, or it's going to tighten up what those numbers are and possibly lead to a runoff for the general election. So that's something that we'll be watching for carefully.
But everything's good. You've heard from them all.
I think it's inevitable that there's going to be technical difficulties.
Grace says Igay's 10 feet away.
And I think for the people watching at home, there's a certain forgiveness factor because they anticipate that as well too. The talent on set knows that.
I hear our Grace Lee down there talking to the governor. Grace, if you can hear me.
Feeling the love tonight?
Well, they've done a terrific job. So, you know, they have a lot to be proud of.
Okay, well, Governor Igay feeling pretty good, though the second printout has just come out. Excuse me, sir. He says that they're not ready to call it as of yet, but I'm stuck in the crowd of people, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, we've had to switch locations and be a little fluid with our coverage tonight because Andrea Tupola wants to be at the Kahuku High School Punahou football game, and that's going on behind us here. So she promises that when the election returns come in, she's going to come out and meet us here, and we'll get a chance to talk with her.
Printing.
4, take it.
Right, so one of tonight's big winners, Andrea Tupola, about 18% ahead of John Carroll tonight. And our Jim Mendoza is live out in Kahuku at the Punahou Kahuku football game where the candidate is headquartered. Jim.
Yeah, this is a really cool headquarters too, and some good news for Andrea Tupola. That second printout, your lead widens just a little bit. And you know, they pretty much at the station called the race for you. You had some compliments from Colin Moore, our political analyst, about how you stand on issues and how people-oriented you are. Your reactions now, 2 printouts, and the lead is widening a bit.
Well, I definitely feel calm and, you know, collected as far as what we need to do going forward. That's kind of where my mind's at right now. I think that we're excited to have our efforts quantified in a number so we don't have to keep guessing. But at the same time, obviously, we're watching what who our opponent is going to be, because that should dictate the path that we take for this next course.
She says that she's not a politician, she's a people person. And she's running this race, she says, not as a politician, but as a person. And she's running it for the people, not the Republican Party.
The analysis is where Sean and I come in with what we call the political roundtable.
Well, wait a minute, before you get too enamored, right? I always like it when Democrats explain what's wrong with Republicans or why they're failing. Look, The idea is that they don't have the money to match these things. They certainly don't get the publicity. They don't get the coverage or anything else. From the get-go, it's always what Democrat candidate is in the lead.
And we need to get on board and take advantage of this Republican administration, the conservative aspects of defense and economy, and getting a balance here.
I called Case for sure.
Stand by, everybody.
All of the front runners keeping their positions in the lead tonight after the second readout. I think it's time for us to call Ed Case as the winner of the race on the Democratic side. Ed Case, he's in. Cam Cavasso.
Case, close. Case, close.
They knew they had it in the bag. Hawaii News Now had already called the race by the second printout. The only thing that was really tense was Doug Chin, his closest opponent, did not call the race after the second. He did not concede after that second printout.
You need to know I have a really, really great speech plan, okay? It's a really great one, but you're gonna have to wait another hour, hour and a half or so until the next ballot comes out, because we still have a small amount of hope. We still have hope, so let's keep hanging in there.
So it was a tricky thing for Ed Case to decide, do I just claim victory outright in an interview without my opponent conceding or giving me that phone call? So really that was the only tense moments here at the campaign for Ed Case. For the most part though, this crowd was celebrating from that first printout.
I don't think I expected that. I think that I knew that we had a real good solid campaign going. I thought we had good momentum going. I thought that we were in a solid shot to win. I really didn't know what to expect on election day, and of course to have a printout like that first time out of the box is really incredible.
228 of 249.
Yeah, call Ige.
And it is a big victory for the incumbent tonight. He says that he was able to breathe a sigh of relief after the third printout came out, showed that he was still leading Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa. This has been a hard fight, as the governor acknowledged tonight. He was up on stage with his family, his 3 kids, and he says that he will be celebrating tonight and hopefully just take a day to spend with his family, who have also been campaigning for him as well.
Thank you to all of you. It's a great night. Tomorrow we start to win the general election. Oh.
Well, a very emotional thank you from Colleen Hanabusa for her many volunteers here tonight and across the state who work so very hard. Very emotional concession speech, and thank you for those volunteers. She mentioned that it felt like family, and certainly it seemed very sincere.
We gave people choices, and the people have spoken.
It's interesting because when Dan Cook asked her, is she going to run again? And she said, no, I'm not doing this again. And then, whoa, wait.
I have to ask you, what is next? Will you run again?
You know, I don't think I'll run again. I think that anyway, I should never say never, but at this point in time, I don't believe so.
How about green? Hold off.
Everything is fluid right now. I will let you know when you're coming out.
This is slower than usual.
Well, we're waiting for the fourth printout to see who won the lieutenant governor's race.
So there was a little bit of a mix-up. We thought we were going to get more of the precincts coming in, but it turns out that's not the case, so the waiting game continues.
That's right.
Following this 10 p.m. and third printout of the night, one of the races that we still consider too close to call, it's only a margin of about 6,000 votes, is for lieutenant governor on the Democratic side of the ticket. We're still looking at a very tight race between emergency room doctor from Hawaii Island, current state senator Josh Green, and his closest challenger of this race, of course, Jill Tokuda.
You're going to keep fighting, just like I am. This is not over. So while the numbers may not have worked out for us tonight, I know that you're going to get up tomorrow morning, arms sore from waving a whole lot today, and you're still going to keep fighting for that future that we all committed ourselves to.
You know, she didn't stay and wait to the fourth printout, the last printout. It was shortly after the third printout. She came on to thank her supporters. She didn't officially say those words, but she said based on the numbers, although it's not over yet, based on where those numbers are coming from, she knows unfortunately it's not enough to pull ahead. So she thanked her supporters for everything and she left with her family.
Takuda's communications director has officially said she's conceding.
Senator Green ended up going to the Ige camp. Definitely a long night.
So the matchup with governor and lieutenant governor is going to be Governor David Ige and Josh Green. And he had called both Colleen Hanabusa and David Ige and said, I will be a great match for both of you in different ways. And it was really interesting to see them tonight almost hugging and embracing. And Josh Green had this kind of cloud nine, I can't believe this look. So it was really interesting to see sort of the emotions of the night.
I am just so excited and honored to be able to do this job and to work on the challenges that Governor has appropriately focused on for his first term and now the second term, God willing.
Always a wild ride, and it takes a lot of people to make this night possible. On behalf of all of us here at Hawaii News Now, thank you for being with us. Have a great night and a great weekend. Aloha.
Hey. Good job, everybody. Nicely done.
Try to be brief here. Look, great job tonight. I'm extremely proud of the entire group here. In at least 10 years, that's the best election coverage that we've had. The best part of it for me, sitting in my office watching it tonight, was we put on intelligent television, okay, for 5 hours tonight. Studio B and the guests that we ran through here and the talk that we had throughout the night, it was good TV. It was worth it. If you decided to sit in with us and watch us tonight, it was good. Nice job by everybody. I know everybody's tired, so I said I'd keep this quick. Thank you. You know, we get back at it again tomorrow, okay? Thank you, everyone. Nice job. Well done.
5 hours of live TV. I love it. It's over. What a great night. Always fun to bring everybody together around the state, and we all participate in this electoral process, and it's a really empowering feeling of unity. And now it's time to go to bed.
Well, I'm really proud of being a team member at Hawaii News Now because Hawaii News Now is a leader in news and is a leader in journalism. And when it comes to these big historical events, we come together as a team and we really deliver.